Yeah, g'day everyone. I'm Brett and welcome back to Reliance Australia. So you probably hear a bit of noise, a bit of wind. So we're up the paddock today, and today is Australia Day, so happy Australia Day. But what that means for us actually at home is that since we've moved down to the property, we've realised that the blackberries tend to come on around about Australia Day. So for us, Australia Day marks our official blackberry season at home. I know it's not the official blackberry season, but for us it is. And there's some things that you really need to be careful about. Gloves, because blackberries have prickles. But we also have a little hoe. And today I'm going to use something else, which I'm about to show you in a minute, to try and get into some of these blackberries. So let's get into it. So it's still very early on in the season. Like for us, it's probably our first day of picking, but you can see a few of them in there, and like these ones are right in the middle where I can't reach. So I've got another tool that I'm going to use, which actually I use for normally fruit. Because I can't get to those ones normally, I'm going to try this new tool. It's actually an old tool, and see how we go. So this is the tool, and you can see that this little cutter is attached to a rope. And what I'm going to try is get the stem into that little groove, chop it, and the plan is that it'll drop into a little bag. But that's like, normally I've used this for picking apples, especially if they're high on a tree. But let's see how it goes with the blackberries, because the blackberries have thorns. I'm not too sure how it's going to go getting them back out. So you can see I'm trying to get that bag to go over the top of the bunch of berries, but unfortunately, because there's so many thorns on every single piece of a blackberry bush, it keeps catching on that cloth bag, and so I'm not actually being able to get it into it. So I'll start using something else. You can see in this shot, I'm starting to use it's actually just a little hoe, and I'm pushing down on the other branches of the blackberry, so all those big stems that are coming out, to keep the thorns away, just enough so I can get that bag underneath to go over the top of it, and so then I can just chop it off as I was able to do. One of the tricky things with picking blackberries is because they're normally a very thick bush and the thorns are so thick and hard, they'll stick into your clothes, they'll stick into your body wherever you go. I normally wear quite a thick long sleeve shirt when I'm doing the picking, just to keep myself safe. So part about being self-reliant is not just what we do, but sometimes how we think. So down here in our area, blackberries are actually considered a pest, and you're meant to spray them. But also when I go to the shops, they want me to pay like $5 a punnet, so it works out to be something like $50 to $60 a kilo. Something that grows wild on the property. So you can see a bit of a fence here already. This was here on the property already, and because of the fence, the animals can't get in, and also people don't mow, so the blackberries have actually just grown wild here. But the beauty is that I've been able to contain them to this one little spot. Now, the blackberries have come from other spots where the animals don't go, and you'll see that as we go through, maybe. Depends on how much video we... Some of it's about being smart about what you do, so this way we can still keep track of what's going on, we can control them, they're in a controlled space, and they're beautiful, they're organic. And there's nothing that beats fresh grown, homegrown, freshly picked fruit. So we've got some nice ones coming on, and you can see that there's still plenty coming through. So we have had a particularly cold, wet winter and spring, and I have found we had the same last year. We had a big crop last year, so I do find that seems to be a good omen for a good season of blackberries. So here's hoping for a nice season. Clearly we have a lot growing already, which is nice. Oh. So this is what it looks like when your blackberries start taking over your paddock. You can see in through the scrub there, the blackberries just here. They're really thick, and they are really quite aggressive in the Australian native environment, because these aren't native bushes, but look, they do stick to this area, thankfully, because we control either side of it. But down in this part of the property, we have a little spring and it just goes through the water, so the water's quite good here. It's obviously on the down slope of the hill too, so a lot of the water has been coming down through the wet season, through our winter. So these ones are quite good. We didn't pick a lot up the top end of the property, but we've come down here and it's actually quite nice, and then looks like we're going to get a nice little picking for our first day out. So there you go, first day picking. Look, it's not a lot, but we've probably got about a kilo, I'd reckon, of blackberries there, which is, you know, nice pick for our first time. But today has also been a good day up in the garden. We've got, I think, some of our first cucumbers as well. I can't show you those because the girls eat them as soon as they pick them, so they literally go in because they're nice and fresh, and they love them nice and fresh. We've also got some zucchinis coming through as well, which has been good. So it's just that time of year, and look, we will eat these. We will make some sorbet out of them. So you make blackberry sorbet is beautiful. So there's a lot of things that we can actually do with our blackberries. We don't tend to make jam. For those people are going, make some jam. We don't tend to eat a lot of jam, but we do tend to eat them. So if you've liked this video, please big thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell too if you want to get some early notifications that they're coming through. But importantly, share it with your friends. That helps the channel out a stack. Thanks very much. Happy Australia Day. Until next time, I'll see you then.